What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by Lock City. It's Wighty here today. I hope everyone's having a great week, and I really hope that all of you actually have had the opportunity to cash out with us over these last couple of days, especially in our premium tier. Today we have episode number 64 of the JuiceBox, which is going to be an outlook into the upcoming Tier 1 or S tier CS2 tournament, PGL Astana, which is going to run from Saturday, May 10th, all the way through until Sunday, May 18th, and it's being hosted in Astana, Kazakhstan. But before we get into it, of course, just a reminder that you can join our premium tier, wap.com/lockcity, only $5 a month or 16 cents a day. This gets you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to premium picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of sport-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. I feel like I say this every time I hop on a podcast now, but we've been absolutely cashing out in the premium Discord. Yesterday, my channel alone, we went up 22.12 units or $2,212 if you want to talk money. So far today, we're already up 6.37 units or $637 between KBO, which is Korean baseball for those of you that don't follow regularly, and CS2. I have a ton of plays for MLB locked and loaded tonight. Our max play of the day is 4-1 through the first 5 days of May. We've been smashing our Thunder Pick CS2 pick of the day. We've currently got a $10 to 10K challenge running where we try and double our money every day for 10 days to turn $10 into $10,000. And of course, I'm only one of 9 pro cappers in there giving out daily content. So we do daily picks, we have daily projections for all major sports, and of course, our Lock City cheat sheets that we're running pretty much every single day, every single sport, as long as they're active, obviously, as long as the sports have games going. For example, KBO takes breaks on Mondays, but tons of different sports, different prop markets, player props, all sorts of content in there. It's pretty insane, to be honest, that we offer this for 16 cents a day or $5 a month, but we believe that everyone should have access to important sports data points. We're focused on building a community of like-minded bettors, more so than profit-focused, obviously. We're not going to charge you $50 a week like these other guys. You can get better results paying 16 cents a day. That's wap.com/lockcity. So let's hop into some PGL Astana. So like I said, this tournament is going to be hosted in Astana, Kazakhstan. There are going to be 16 teams that are competing in this tournament. Of course, it's an S tier or Tier 1 tournament. So this is featuring some of the top teams of the world, a lot of it based on global rankings. Some of these teams were able to get in off of regional qualifiers. Audic, Hotu specifically, we'll cover some of those teams. But overview for this tournament, the format is going to be a 16-team Swiss system format. So all of the matches are best of 3. The top 8 teams are going to proceed to the playoffs. So the group stage is going to take place first, obviously, from May 10th through until May 14th. So there's going to be 5 rounds, Swiss style. You need 3 wins to advance. So you either go 3-0, you win your first 3 games, you go 3-1 or 3-2 to advance. If you go 2-3, 1-3, or 0-3, you are eliminated. You're not making it through the playoffs. So these teams will play off. They'll get re-ranked every day based on who they've played, the competition level, I suppose, of those opponents, win-loss records, as well as their differential for each of these. So they'll be ranked each day. They'll have different matchups. All we have set so far is the first round of matchups. So the teams that are going to be competing in this tournament are going to be Team Spirit, the Mongols, Aurora Gaming, G2 Esports, Natus Vincere or Navi, Astralis, Pain Gaming, Virtus Pro, Gamer Legion, Furia, Big, MIBR, Ninjas in Pajamas or NIP, M80, Audic, and Hotu. So quite a little mix of teams that we have going on here. A lot of them obviously top teams in the world coming in based on global rankings. Those teams are Spirit, Mongols, Aurora, which was previously Eternal Fire, G2, Navi, Astralis, believe it or not, Pain Gaming, and Virtus Pro, and actually Gamer Legion and Furia as well. The qualifying teams, NIP, M80, Audic, Hotu, they made it from their respective brackets. So we'll hop into this and kind of talk about what we are looking at for round 1. We can't really predict beyond that. We can talk about who we think is going to win the tournament, hypothetically speaking. Spoiler alert, it's going to be Team Spirit. But aside from that, all we have are the first round matchups. So we'll do a dive of those. Of course, at the end, we're going to give out our JuiceBox lock, which will be our best bet of the day. But without further ado, let's kind of hop into these matchups here. So the tournament, like I said, going to kick off on Saturday for the group stage. It's actually going to be super bright and early. I have no idea what the time zone for Kazakhstan is, but it must be significantly ahead of where I am in Canada. So these games for me in Eastern time start at 1 a.m. The first two games, these are all best of threes, obviously. The first two games are at 1 a.m. The next two are at 4, the next two are at 7, and the next two are at 10. So you're going to want to make sure that you get these plays in the night before what we go through today. We'll talk all of the matchups, and of course the JuiceBox lock. We'll drop that well in advance. Make sure you get that in Friday night if you're following us on Twitter, or if you are obviously in the Discord there, make sure that you get that lock in on Friday. So the first two matchups are going to be Aurora and Big, and then Astralis and Audic. Aurora and Big is going to be very lopsided. Aurora wins this. The odds on this are actually a little bit more favoring Big than I would have expected, I suppose. Big is 4.3. I would have expected maybe the 5 to 6 times range, but 4.3 times your money or plus 330 American odds for Big. And Aurora is 122 or about minus 500, give or take, probably about minus 475 if I had to guess in American odds. So like I said, this is going to be Aurora all day long. Aurora wins this. There's no map really that Big could even take. Ancient is going to be Aurora's instaban. Aurora hasn't won Train yet, but if you look at who they've played on Train, it's Complexity, Liquid, and Falcons. All of those teams being significantly better than Big. Big can be a little bit sneaky, but ultimately Aurora wins this. I would be very surprised if Big won a map. Aurora money line is going to be your safe bet. Aurora minus 1.5 map spread if you want to get a little bit freaky there. You think they're going to win 2-0. I don't blame you on that. Next one's going to be Astralis and Audic. Also at 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Astralis should win this. Astralis is just horribly sketchy. Audic, they're okay. They have lost to teams like Legacy and Imperial and Fluxo, which in the grand scheme of like a tournament like this, an S-tier tournament, those are not good losses. They might be okay losses on the regional scene in Brazil, but they're not good losses in the grand scheme of things. However, Astralis has lost to B8, they've lost to Metasport, they've lost to OG, they got 2-0 by Virtus Pro, they lost to BetClick, that's embarrassing. So like Astralis isn't, their map pool doesn't look great, their competition hasn't looked great. I would not be surprised if Audic snuck a map here. I could see them sneaking, I don't know, Dust 2, Inferno, Nuke, a variety of maps, to be honest. I think Astralis instabans Anubis probably. Astralis has not won on Dust 2 in the last 3 months. They have a 0% win rate, and they've played a lot of top teams on that, but they've also played like Legacy, 3D Max, who you should be able to beat if you're being invited to this tournament based off of your world ranking. You shouldn't be dropping maps to 3D Max, to Legacy, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and take Astralis on the money line, I suppose, as a safe bet. I don't feel like I'll really touch this game too much on parlays. I don't like Astralis. Audic could be hit or miss. I'm not personally going to play either side of this, but I guess Astralis money line if we're making a pick on it. Mongols and Furia is going to be our first 4 o'clock a.m. Eastern matchup. Mongols wins this. If you look at public consensus, it's like almost 50-50, but it's just flooded with Brazilians that are voting on Furia. Mongols, this is pretty much a free win for the Mongols. Furia added Yukindar from Liquid, and they have Molodoi from Amcal, but I don't really see them even taking a map here, to be honest. Mongols wins this 2-0, or Mongols, sorry, wins this 2-0, I would say 9 times out of 10. Next one's going to be G2 and MIBR. G2 should win this. They have Hades now, so it's Heavy God, Snacks, Hades, Mobs, and Hunter. For those of you that don't know, you should if you follow CS2, but if you're a casual, I suppose, they don't have Nico, don't have Monacy, both those guys over on Falcons. So this new G2 roster, not great. Monacy ended up leaving it. G2 left, or Nico left G2 a couple of months ago, and then Monacy ended up following there. So Falcons are looking really good. G2, on the other hand, not really sure. I think Hades is a decent addition. they should beat MIBR, but again, not surprised at all if MIBR takes a map. If we're looking at odds here, MIBR at plus 290. If you can get them to win a map at around like maybe plus 180, I would definitely take that. Anything less than that, maybe not, maybe reconsider. But I think G2 money line or MIBR plus 1.5 if you can get good odds on it. Nodus Vincier and M80 is going to be our first 7 o'clock matchup. This should be Navi, but I could see M80 winning a map here. Navi doesn't have anybody over the last 3 months with a rating higher than 1.03, and that's going to be JL. Wonderful's got a rating of 1 flat, 1.00. Bit's got a rating of 1.01. Alexi B, obviously, as the IGL, 0.89. He hasn't really been playing great over the last year or so, aside from a couple major performances. And then M's at 1.01. I am there. So M80, I don't know. Slacks has been playing super well. I could honestly see them taking a map here. When you look at the odds, they're 3.7x or plus 270 on the money line. I would say same thing as the previous match. If you can get M80 at like plus 180 for the plus 1.5 map spread for them to win a map, I would take that. Otherwise, go ahead and take Navi here on the money line. Next one's going to be Virtus Pro and Ninjas in Pajamas, or NIP, at 7 o'clock. This one for me, honestly, I'm kind of leaning NIP on this. I know that's a little bit sketchy, but I like Aros Doce. I like U-Jerks. I like Snappy for the most part. I like Shush for the most part. And Virtus Pro, they've just been inconsistent ever since James left. They have failed to really find themselves. Icy's been playing well, but and Flit and Electronic at times as well. They have a pretty good roster, but they've been inconsistent, and they have not been able to close. They haven't been able to 2-0 where they're supposed to get the job done in that manner. I don't really trust them. I really like Nip here at plus 1.5. I don't know if I'm comfortable enough taking Nip on the money line to beat Virtus Pro, but I do like Nip plus 1.5. I think they can get a map done here. In terms of which maps we'd be talking, they have pretty much a better all-around map pool. I think Anubis and Ancient, Virtus Pro's really weak on. I think Mirage, Virtus Pro's weak on. Train, we haven't seen a lot of. So I think there's a lot to be desired with this Virtus Pro roster. I'm going to go ahead and take Nip plus 1.5 on this one. And then we got Spirit and Gamer Legion as the first 10 o'clock game. So these are the last two on the first day's slate. This is going to be Spirit all day. Spirit wins this 2-0. There's no question about it. Number 2 team in the world. They're pissed off about the last couple of tournaments. They haven't been able to make it into a grand final there. They've been getting kicked out by Vitality. They've been versing hard competition. They've lost to Mouse. They've lost to Falcons. So they've been playing hard, but they haven't been getting the job done there. So this tournament, I think, is going to be a little bit of a tune-up for them. There's no Vitality. There's no Mouse. There's a lot of teams that they should be able to beat. They should be able to win this tournament, and they should be able to open with a 2-0 over Gamer Legion very comfortably. Last one's going to be Pain and Hotu. I kind of like Hotu here to win at least a map, I think. Hotu's plus 370, so 4.7x on the money line. But they've been playing really well. They're on a 6-match win streak. They've beaten Rare Atom. They've beaten the Huns twice. They've beaten Chingus Warriors. They beat Gigi Hao. They've been playing really well. And Pain has not won a map in God knows how long. A couple of matches. And then they haven't won a match. They lost a Wildcard, Mouse, Complexity, FaZe, Falcons, FaZe, Aurora, Eternal Fire, and Navi, albeit all very good teams. But that's an 8-week stretch. They have not won a match. It looks like 10 in a row, if I'm not mistaken, quickly glancing at it. But they haven't won one in a very long time. In 8 weeks, they have been winless. They're obviously very, very hungry here, but I don't know. I think Hotu ends up winning a map here. I think Snow obviously is going to play great for Pain. I don't think Hotu wins this by any stretch, but I think they have what it takes to take a map off of Pain here. So that'll be the last pick before we hop into our JuiceBox lock of the day, which for those of you that don't know is going to be our best bet. So every day in our premium server and on Twitter, we drop a JuiceBox lock of the day. For those of you that follow along, make sure to, when they cash out, make sure to tag us on Twitter, tag us in the Discord. For those of you that follow on YouTube, leave a comment. For those of you that don't, make sure that you subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. For For those of you, again, obviously not in our premium tier, I would check that out, but we also have a free tier Discord for anybody that's following us on Twitter. We extend that courtesy over to Discord, so we offer a free tier Discord as well. If you're not tapped in there, I would recommend doing so. So our JuiceBox lock of the day for today is going to be Aurora on the money line, I think, with Mongols on the money line, because these odds are ridiculous. 1.38, that is great value for Mongols money line over Furia. And then Spirit minus 1.5, which is 1.45 for that line. So that's going to bring us to plus 140 for those three legs. Those are three super, super safe legs. That's going to be Aurora money line, Mongols money line, and Spirit minus 1.5 map spread. So Spirit to win 2-0. The other two just need to get the job done. They can win 2-1, 2-0. We need Spirit to win 2-0 though. And that's going to be plus 140 or 2.40x on Thunder Pick. I'm going to be dropping 2 units on this one, so $200. That's going to pay out $480 here. I really, really like the look of this. I think this is a super safe bet for Saturday. Get the weekend started off right. It's going to be essentially a wake in cash for a lot of you super, super early. For those of you on the West Coast, most of these games are going to be done before you even wake up. So a great play here. Definitely follow along, and if you do cash out on this, again, make sure that you tag us on Twitter or leave us a comment on YouTube. Show us some love there, especially if you've been following along from MLB and maybe you're checking out Counterstrike here for the first time. Definitely show us some love, give us a follow. We're happy to have you along, and we'll look to see you in tomorrow's episode, I suppose, of the JuiceBox here, either for the MLB one or UFC, whichever comes first. Take care, guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Peace.